Okay. Good morning. This is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and intuitive. And welcome, welcome, welcome. I cannot wait to tell you all about my morning. It has been ridiculous. Mercury is really messing with me. So, good morning, everyone. Oh, Bambi Bello, Love and Light, Red Book Club. Oh, I see some new people here. Wonderful. So happy to see people I recognize and happy to have some new. Oh, great. And Spark Hawk, so glad to have you here. So, anyway, everyone, I'm Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and intuitive. And, okay, so. I'll start with me. Okay. So this morning, I set an alarm every single day. And I remember last night looking at it and double checking to make sure I set it. Well, I did not set it. So I overslept this morning. Then I got up and started getting ready to walk my dogs and got out my iPhone and the touch screen was not working. So again, Mercury is messing with me. Mercury rules communications, rules electronic devices, rules phones and things like that, and the alarm clock. And anyway, I was able to get it all fixed up. And then I came on, started my live, and I'm like, no one's joining. And I'm talking. No one's joining. And realized I was on my personal account instead of my Astrology by Celeste account. So Mercury, we are in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, but it is going to be lit. And I've been feeling it's going to be lit because I started having problems the day Mercury went into Gemini. So official start is on the 29th, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I should just hide in a hole until then, or just have no plans. Okay. Yeah. So things to be aware of with Mercury retrograde. We all know it's a time to reflect and review, and it's just really, really, really an important time to slow down. So I listened to it telling me that I need to slow down. I do not have my pages of notes I normally have. Today we are just gonna fly by the seat of, well, not exactly. I've been preparing mentally and stuff, and I have charts here, but it's gonna be a little different, and let's see how it goes. If you like it more than when I'm all prepared and professorly. So today the sun is in Gemini and the moon is in Libra. So these are both air signs. And yeah, so I love this energy. If you recall back in February, we had this so many planets in Aquarius, which is also air, but it's fixed air. And that felt a lot heavier. It felt almost suffocating. With Gemini, we're having like all these planets line up in Gemini. It's mutable air, and it's just it's like fast moving and free and fooling around with me and other people. I'm sure I'm not the only person. So it's a lot of air again, but I think it's like a fresher, faster air. So it can bring some nervousness and things, but on the bright side, it can bring just some fun and and such like that. So today is a beautiful day to spend with people, friends, family, your partner, your boo, whatever, talking and just having a good time. I like that. Like, just lighten up. That is the message for today. Lighten up, just have some joy. Yes. And because Mercury, well, right now anyway, for the next hour or two, Mercury is in a exact trine with, and trines are flows of ease, Mercury and Gemini with the moon in Libra. So yeah, to me as well, this can bring some really nice, witty, fun conversation that will be good. Yes. So I am loving that. And Saturn is in Aquarius still. So there's a grand trine in air. So yeah, wonderful. If you need to write something, today is a great day to do some writing. And this week is coming up is going to be intense. So yeah, so try to enjoy today. Okay. Oh, so my few announcements. I do have one page that I started last night. My few announcements. I am having 2 free seminars about the eclipses. So the first one is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I'm having it on a Monday afternoon. Monday is the moon's day, and we're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse that's happening on the 26th. And then 2 weeks following that, on June 7th, I'll have a solar eclipse. These are absolutely free. You can sign up at the link in my bio. And yeah, hope to see you there. We'll talk about the charts, what it means for you. Talk a bit about some mundane astrology of worldly events, and then do some hot takes on people's charts who are there and interested in finding out what these eclipses mean for them. So also just point everybody, I do a free monthly oracle astrology reading where I give the person hot takes on their astrology chart and then pull cards for them. The link for that is in the bio. Dee, who's in Aquarius, was this month's winner. So I look forward to meeting Dee and doing her reading. You can book a reading on my Astrology by Celeste site. It's a good thing to do. This summer's rocking and rolling, and a lot's going on. And if you just want my hot takes, my Hey Hero link is in the bio. So that's a wonderful, wonderful platform where you can just ask me a question, and I'll tape you a little video, like a 5-10 minute video, to answer your question about your chart or what have you, whatever you want to know about. A lot of people ask, like, what do the eclipses mean for me, or what do the Saturn Uranus squares mean for me? Yeah. So those are the things. Okay, that's the notes. So what else? Yeah, so I will go back to what I was saying about why I have a lot of trepidation about this Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is stationing at 24 degrees Gemini. And when a planet stations, that's essentially where it stops and then starts going backwards. So people who have any planets around or right around 24 degrees, especially of mutable signs, which would be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, may feel this retrograde more intensely because that's the stationary point. So I have my Pluto at 24 Virgo. So this Mercury is pulling into the station to stop in a square, a potention to the power planet, the planet of transformation and whatnot. So I'm one of the ones to watch. We'll see. I'll probably be here every week telling you about some Mercury retrograde story, but I really am listening to my own advice about slowing down, giving extra time. Just doing that so that there aren't the mishaps of mismeetings and miscommunications and all these kind of things that can happen with this energy. The other thing that's a big feature of this upcoming lunar eclipse is Neptune, and we haven't talked a lot about Neptune. Neptune is the planet of illusions and delusions. It is the fog. It is the mist. It can bring on the beautiful side spirituality we think of with Neptune, compassion, artistic art, and I love creativity. I have been in love with this Neptune 12. I think it's called Dance 12 Neptune. And he is just this incredible dancer. I guess he was on So You Think You Can Dance. When people have Mars-Neptune connections, especially soft ones, like the trines and the sextiles and even the conjunction. You can have people who are just beautiful, like just amazing dancers. And this guy is such an amazing dancer. And he and his fiance are like so in sync, and they're both incredible. And they do these fantastic reels, which I just love. I'll go and repost one of their reels after this. Because that's such a beautiful expression of Neptunian energy, and his handle says Neptune, so I assume he knows something about his chart and Neptune. So I will do that so you can see that, because there is this that's the beauty of Neptune. The shadow of Neptune can be deceitfulness or deception. It can be, especially since Venus is going to be squaring Neptune as well, it can be just not seeing things as they really are. The rose-colored glasses that you can put on, especially in the beginning of a relationship, and let all the red flags just pass you on by. So that's the shadow side. So just be aware that there is, for the next couple of weeks, there's a lot of energy, especially with Mercury square Neptune, which can be about miscommunications and people being intentionally trying to mislead others. So just be aware that that is one of the shadows. Hopefully it won't be involved in your life at all. But there are 3 of these squares because of the retrograde. Go across, back it up, go across again. Yeah, and with this lunar eclipse, Mercury and Venus squaring Neptune is one of the features. But I say use this, as well as Jupiter and Pisces, and use this energy to be creative. So if you have been planning to do something creative, now is the time. Don't delay. Start your creative project. If you've been thinking about a hobby, wouldn't it be nice for me to paint by number or to get a coloring book, or I don't know, whatever. Now is the time to do this, because there's all this beautiful Piscean energy with Jupiter and Neptune both in Pisces. Okay, so the one to watch. So I'm going to make myself the one to watch. We will see what happens when the Saturn Uranus square on June 14th happens. So yes, because it is right on my 12 degrees Taurus sun. So Uranus is going to be at 13 degrees of Taurus, smack dab. It'll just cross my sun. Saturn is going to be squaring it. So we shall see what happens. And I'm telling you, this Mercury retrograde is going to have me spinning round and round. So I will let you know about that. On a more serious topic, the one to watch is Israel. So if you recall, I talked about this, actually, I think a couple of times, about that stampede at Mount Meron that happened on the 30th of April. And the thing that was so indicated it's important to me is that the Sun and Uranus came together on that day. So there was an exact conjunction on that day between the Sun and Uranus at it was at 10 degrees of Taurus at that time. And that was when all these people, it was a religious pilgrimage thing to this temple, and just 100,000 people were somewhere where only 15,000 people should have been. And there was this just stampede, 40 some people died, hundreds injured. And when the sun hits a planet that's a key feature of the year, and we know that Saturn and Uranus are the key players this year, the sun is a spotlight. It says, look here. Well, what I took that to be was look here for, the next squares that maybe people will be gathering in large groups, forgetting how to behave, and that we could see things like outrageous things happening. Yeah, I will talk about your question, Annie, after I finish at the end. Yeah, so So yeah, so it's a spotlight. I thought that what that indicated, but no, it indicated that Israel is the one to watch with the horror that's going on there right now. And I know there's currently a ceasefire, but it is just awful what's happening there. And I'm going to talk more in depth about this, about the astrology, and I'll have the chart up so people can actually see the chart tomorrow in the in the webinar. But looking at the transits for Israel and the full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse. So Israel is being eclipsed essentially, and it's having multiple things happening. So the North Node, which speaks to where we are going to, what the stretch is, the North Node is fated. We often meet people on when there's North Node contacts. When things cross our North Node, like you may meet a lover when Venus crosses, you may meet a teacher when Saturn crosses, and such and such. Uranus often brings romantic partners when it touches our personal planets and points and things like the North Node. But the North Node is on a fixed star, Aldebaran, which is a very important fixed star, the watcher of the East. And that's where Uranus's Mercury is. So Mercury speaks to siblings, brothers, the mythology of Israel and the Arabs and the Jews is that, they're brothers who had a conflict and whatnot. So this speaks to that to me, that the North Node it's like, look at this relationship between brothers. Uranus is approaching their North Node. So this next Saturn Uranus square, their North Node is at 14 Taurus, and Uranus will be at 13 Taurus at that next Saturn Uranus square. So that calls my attention to it as well. The day of the eclipse, Mercury, transiting Mercury, is smack dab on Mercury Gemini at 24 degrees on their Uranus. Uranus, the planet of unexpected big events. And a war is an unexpected big event. And Pluto is crossing their IC, the lowest point of their chart. Pluto speaks to the home, the hearth, land. To me, this means this is not just a temporary conflict. Some kind of transformation is going to be happening in the state of Israel. And we shall see what evolves. It could take years. I don't know. But yeah, and the other thing of note is that Mars is in the sign of Cancer. And so literally Mars, the planet of action, the planet of fighting, is in the sign of Cancer, the sign of the home, sign of land, sign of family. So fighting with family, going back to that brotherly relationship as well. And on the solar eclipse on June 10th, Mars will be at 29 Cancer. So like this real concentration of that energy. So yeah. And Uranus is also in a direct square with Pluto as well. So Uranus at the lunar eclipse is at 12 Taurus. Israel's Pluto is at 12 Leo, both fixed signs, squaring energy, fixed things hold the energy. Thank goodness there's a ceasefire right now, but it's just I don't know. I'm concerned about that. I got all excited thinking, well, maybe this horror will lead to some kind of two-state solution as they're more outsiders like the United States, Egypt, I'm sure Europe, developing nations are involved as well, trying to move them forward to some kind of solution rather than let this stuff just keep coming up and flaring again and again. And the last time it flared was in 2014, 7 years ago, 7 Saturn cycle. Yeah, so 7 years ago, Saturn would have been in Scorpio. So that was a Saturn Uranus opposition when they had that last conflict. Now we have a square. So another conflict. And yeah, it's a closing square. So hopefully good things will come, but it's just horrific what we're seeing in terms of the toll of life loss and homes lost and all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, but very Uranian. It seemed to come out of nowhere, and in a week, hundreds of people dead, thousands, tens of thousands of people displaced. Just awful. Okay, I saw there was a question about Saturn Uranus. Okay, so Annie she has 13 degrees natal Saturn and Capricorn. So yeah, Saturn retrogrades can bring, she's asking about the Saturn retrograde. So retrogrades, especially the outer planets, Jupiter and they retrograde multiple months every single year. So I don't look as closely to them as I do on the personal planets. Typically, Saturn brings structures, meaning like you may have an opportunity to get something done, that something that was stalled may come back again, may come back into your ability to move it forward with the retrograde. So think back, I think you think back to last fall. Did anything you were working on, was that stalled? You may have an opportunity to revisit with this Saturn retrograde. Yeah, and that 13 degrees is in a trine to Uranus in Taurus. So 13 degrees, a cap, is in a trine with Uranus and Taurus. So yeah, that could give you the ability to make changes to structures. So that's a way you can use this energy. Okay, let's see. Oh, good, my Joyce. You keep feeling good. You may not. It may just be all fun and giggles for you. This Mercury retrograde. Yeah, and this depending on your chart, this eclipses can be like a whisper or a avalanche. I mean, it depends on your chart. Yeah, and whether you're being activated. Oh, good, Janice. Yeah, keep being creative. Yeah. Oh, Mercury in the 3rd house, love and light in Gemini. Well, choose your words wisely. Reread communications and reread them again. Yeah, I will post the webinar on YouTube. Yeah, the webinars are recorded. If you can't make it live, they'll be on your YouTube. Hey, Colin. Oh, so good to see you here. I did a live with Colin last week. We had such a fabulous conversation. So go over to Queer Cosmos, and you can see the recording there. I'll have to figure out. I don't think I can put it on my page. Yeah. Okay. Aw, thank you, Night Moves. Oh, I'm loving these nice comments. Thank you so much. So I hope you enjoyed me talking off the top of my head rather than having my notes all prepared. But I think those are the big things for this week. Yeah. We had the last person, Smile Forgot. You can rewatch the beginning to hear about my insanity this morning. Rick Santorum, he he ran for president. He was on CNN. Well, he got himself fired, and he also got eclipsed. His Saturn is at 23 Sagittarius. So there was a solar eclipse back in I'm dropping cards. Back in December, and it was right on his Saturn, the planet of structure, karma, and yeah, he said some things about America when the Pilgrims came. There was nothing here. They started from a blank slate. Well, people, Native American people didn't really appreciate that sentiment, as though they were non-humans, non-entities anyway. He's been controversial. CNN cut him free. He's also being Saturn Uranus squared because he has his Uranus at 7 Leo. So, yeah. Oh well. Bye, Rick. We'll see if there's any more news about him. So that was the other news this week. But I'm not that interested in him to do a story, so that's all I'll say about that. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 cards. So how can we use this beautiful energy to be creative this week? And what else do we need to know? Just what do we need to know? Because it's eclipse season. Big things can happen. There's going to just be big shifts. So we just need to center ourselves, get grounded. I talked a lot with Colin about things to do, as well as tomorrow I'll talk about things to do to help surf the energies, especially if you're really impacted. Okay, let me pull 3 cards. Ooh, okay. Okay. So the first card is the never-ending story in protection. And this can speak to, getting caught in loops. And that is so important with Mercury. Mercury rules the thought process. And in Gemini, there can be like a level of one of the difficulties can be like just getting so caught up in your head and thinking about the same thing over and over again. And with Mercury in retrograde, old stories can come back to our attention. So the next card is To Be Fair, the Libra card. Isn't this great? The moon is in Libra and we get the Libra card. So what this to me says is when these old stories come back, or if we're having like this repetitive type of thinking, to take a step back and look at it with a new perspective and be fair. Look at the balance. Look at not just one side of the story. Try to look at another side of the story. Try to turn and face the other way. See the other side of the story and have a new perspective with it. And then the last card is Higher Power. And so that to me says, trust that things that are coming to your attention are for your highest good, and that it is here to help you heal and move forward. And you can also use this energy because Uranus is such a big player coming up in eclipse season to break old cycles, let go, release. We're all called to release structures that no longer serve us. So that's the message of this week, the never-ending story. And let me just read it to see if there may be someone here that this has a special meaning for. So let me read what never-ending story in protection means. Yeah, this is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's stuff. Your sensitivity is on high alert these days, yes, in some eclipse season. And it's on overload, and you are best served by keeping your distance, having that using To Be Fair to step back and be balanced. And your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. Oh, I love that. All this drama will pass and you will carry on unscathed and blameless. I love that. I think this is a beautiful message for both the eclipses and Mercury retrograde. It is all good. Yes. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming. Oh, I pinned my Hey Hero post if you have a quick question and you want to ask that. Oh, yes, Fran or Fur. I'm so glad you found me too. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think I saw all the questions. If I missed anything, come to one of my things. Ah. Oh, great. Ah. Okay, so, this is a good one. Rec and Rally Rose. Her Mars is at 15 Cancer and her Sun is at 28 Cancer. So Mars is going to be on, you're having a Mars return, and then at the second one, Mars is going to be right near your Sun. So Mars on your Sun can be like, it can be a time where you have extra that your will. It's a good time for you to think about how you want to move forward in the world, and just get the stuff done. That Mars can bring you extra energy and oomph on the bright side. Okay. Your moon's at 23 Sag. Really think about what old stories you want to release with this eclipse. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And if you want me to look at your chart and just answer that, do Hey Hero or book a reading. Even better. Ah. Oh, yes, please, Annie. Yes, set up a reading. Oh, good. Oh, someone's in the Netherlands. Yeah, you can watch them the next day. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Sarah, Astro Auntie. She's another wonderful astrologer who I love to do lives with, and one of my mentors. Yes, you can check out her page. So yeah, if you're not following Colin at Queer Cosmos or Sarah at Astro Auntie, please do. Happy birthday. 2 + 2 don't now fits. This is okay. On that note, happy birthday. Goodbye. Oh, wait, what is that?